This is the Sheep Guarding Llama vlog for the 27th of January, 2022. I'm Scott Allen Miller. This is Leon, Nicaragua. This is 8th Avenue on the south side of town on the bridge over the river. And I'm out for a walk this morning. It's Thursday morning, and Dominica sent me out to find food and baked goods and just see what's going on in the neighborhood. So I am out for a walk. I've gone a bit farther south than is really practical, but I wanted to kind of get a feel for where we are. Knowing that the river is here gives kind of a gauge that we're north of the river. And it's really interesting. On the other side here is first of all, it's a beautiful bridge, and the river itself has a lot going on for it. There's actually a very small banana plantation, or plantain plantation, it's hard to say. And I have to wonder if plantation comes from plantain. Probably not, probably comes from planting, but still, it's a little community just growing plantains along the river, just under the bridge here. It's really interesting. And everyone's honking at me because they're like, a white guy in this neighborhood? Something's wrong. As I walk down here, every single person is either yelling at me, trying to tell me something. they're like, what the hell's going on? But it is a gorgeous morning. It's great for out for a walk. I found a couple places that say they sell breakfast. I'm gonna go check it out. One place says it, but I don't see anything. There's a woman on the street. I'm gonna go investigate because street gallo pinto, that is the thing to do. I'm hoping she has queso frito, maybe some Maduro. Who knows? It's going to be an adventure to find some of our local food, which we really want to do. We don't want to be eating at the big restaurants all the time. We want to be able to walk down the street, grab something off the street, and really eat like everyone else. So we are going to give that a try. I'm heading back north on 8th Avenue, and I'm going to see what we find. I think somewhere up around 6th or 7th Street is where we're likely to find some food. So I have to tell you, from the game last night, I forgot to say this in yesterday's update, we got into the VIP lounge and we had a reserved table, which is really cool. So we were looking at all the tables, and they have like someone's name on them or whatever, Jonathan, or so literally one of them was Jonathan. And we found ours, and it was labeled Cheles Bonoloya, which literally translates as the best thing in English is crackers from the beach. It's a slang term for white people. It like cracker. It's kind of slightly offensive, but not very, and you can use it and people don't get upset. But it's really funny that that's just how they wrote it. They didn't bother putting a name on it. They didn't bother like, I don't know. And it wasn't even the beach. Well, it is the beach that Alan's from, but it was just really, really funny that that's just how it's such a funny thing that people will say that. And I was walking through Leon late at night a few nights ago, and I said there's a group of people, very common, sitting out on the street. They're probably older, 60s, 70s. And, I said, Buenas noches. And they repeated in unison, Buenas noches, to me. And it sounded like a Catholic church service, like, and also with you. It was just such a funny unison. But as I walked by them, the older woman kind of looked over and saw me and, like, almost fell out of her chair and exclaimed, un chelo, which literally is just screaming, oh my gosh, a white guy. It was so weird. Like the neighborhoods that we're in, it just doesn't happen. There's no tourist out here, obviously. Laborio has none, and I'm south of Laborio now, so really never happens. But all right, we're off to find this food. Wish me luck. All right, I found an interesting little intersection here, still on 8th. I think this is 8th and 6th. It's hard to say. It could be 8th and 7th. It's definitely south of 5. And there is a bus stop. There's some stuff behind me. I'm in like this big dirt parking lot with roosters. Always roosters. And there's like a hot dog, maybe pizza place behind me. I cannot tell what they sell for sure on the corner. And there's a bus stop and a fruit stand that's open. And then across the way, there's a place making breakfast on the street. I'm gonna head over there and I'm gonna see how this is. Getting from a cart or just a table on the corner of the street is definitely the best way to get food here. Hope I don't get run over. No, not very much traffic. I'm gonna say that was very successful. I have 2 breakfasts, and I'm heading back to the house now, taking a different street so I can I don't know, check out the neighborhood, I guess. And it's a pretty quiet area when we go south of our street about 2 blocks. It gets real quiet real fast. And so this, I believe, I just paid 85 cord-ish. Let's just say 90 cord. It was definitely less than that, but about 90 cord for 2 breakfasts, which means, what is this? It means I definitely paid around $1.50 per breakfast, because that's just a little bit less than $3. $3 would be about 115 cord, so just barely over $1, maybe $1.20, $1.25 per breakfast. And it's gallo pinto, eggs, queso frito, which is the fried cheese that we love so much, and a tortilla, hot tortilla that they're making right over a wood fire right there. Really cool. Maybe I'll be able to get a video of that someday. I was a little bit focused on trying to actually get everything. So I'm looking forward to this. Once we find a couple of these places, being able to eat for so cheap and just eat out is great. $3 for a meal, and it's probably more than we can eat. All right, it's a colorful little corner, very pink and blue and yellow. What is this? All right, try not to get run over by the taxi or the truck. There's a liquor storm coming past. That's good to know. Surprised me. All right, I'm turning and heading north back up to 4th. One of the neat things about Nicaragua is you find little stores for absolutely anything on the most random little streets. So you never know where to look, and suddenly there'll be a store for something you never guessed. And the cutest little houses just mixed in where you would never expect. All right, show us some breakfast.
Okay, let's see what we got here.
This is what we just got on the walk.
Oh, it even comes with a spoon. That's it.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Okay. So we've got a fresh tortilla, still hot. We've got queso frito here. And we have a fried egg and then gallo pinto.
All for $1.20.
That is a lot of food they fit on a little plate.
Yeah, this is very expert.
Yes, for real.
After we had breakfast, I went out walking again to look for some of the pastry shops that are listed on Google Maps, but unfortunately, as we pretty much suspected, they all failed at some point due to the economy, and they're all gone. So none of the ones that I had seen were there. I'm not surprised, but I did go around looking for a bakery and explored 8th Avenue North up to Barrio. Did not find any bakeries along there, anything much of interest. I did explore the Park of the Indian that's up there, and go all the way up at Barrio is the Panaderia Jerusalem, the Jerusalem Bakery, which is not Jewish in any way. It's just a big thing to have Stars of David on everything. I can probably find some if I just look around. They're part of the decorations in the concrete everywhere here. But I picked up a bunch of stuff, including a loaf of bread and sub rolls and some donuts and a bunch of different things so we could try it out. And I have no idea what this is, but this is a pastry that is cheese filled with onions and chitoma. Chitoma is the local word for poblano peppers. So instead of, just because of what grows here, sweet bell peppers are not super popular. Instead, they use poblano. They've got more spice, more flavor. It's fantastic. I love that there are poblanos and everything. It's definitely the way to go as far as making stuff with peppers. So it's really delicious. It's an interesting pastry. Definitely something you can get for breakfast. They also have like pastry, kind of bready pizza things. They all had meat that I saw, but definitely something we could request without meat once we get to know them up there. So that was nice. I also found the billiard hall down on 8th. which was closed obviously this time of the morning, and I found a bar, Dos Que Tres, that looks really nice. I'm really looking forward to going down and checking them out. And a couple of restaurants down there, we'll have to check out the menus and see if anything looks good for us. León ran out of city water this morning. Not out, but they tend to use a lot of water for irrigation outside the city because they have to use the city water supply for the larger area. So there was very low water pressure today. So we decided that staying in León after breakfast did not make sense. This is pretty loud. I'm not sure why the radio needed to be that loud. Anyway, we hung out in León for a little while, but once we were done with breakfast and we had packed up all of our stuff, it was kind of like, do we really want to stay here? The water's barely working. There is water, you can flush, you can wash your hands, but you can't do laundry or anything, which was kind of some of the reason we wanted to be there during the day. So Dominic and I returned to the beach in the late morning. It just wasn't worth staying. Now tomorrow we have a new water tank and pump being installed at the new house. So this problem is only for today, literally a one-day problem for us. So not a big deal, but this really does justify us getting the 11,000 gallon water tank that we are putting in. So a pretty major investment, but actually the homeowner agreed to reduce our rent by $25 or $75 something a month for a long time until it has paid for the tank and pump. So they will own it eventually. We're just fronting the money for it. Worked out pretty nicely overall. So that should be going in early tomorrow morning. Now, as I walk up the hill here, I should point out that this is the corner that used to be so overgrown. In the last 48 hours, they've come in and cleared this all out. I'm gonna be fully in the shade here in a second. Hey, I think that was Darwin going by. Look at all this, and you're gonna be able to see Puesta del Sol now from behind. You were never able to really see them before. And then as I come around, up here on the top, you can see this is the wall of the house that we were trying to buy several months ago. You can see a little bit more. Over here, there's another wall. Like, you can see what structure stuff is here from previous. Who knows what used to be here, but those are the old outside walls. And you can really see the property now. So that's interesting. I have no idea what they're doing. I know that that was for sale. I don't know if it's sold and someone's doing something with it, or if they're clearing it in the hopes of it being for sale or getting sold, or if Puesta is just clearing it because it'll look a lot better and have a lot fewer mosquitoes if they clear it. So I have no idea. I am just speculating. Once we were back in León, or sorry, back from León, I spent the day working lots of projects for customers, so I was quite busy all day. And Polkit is a major Linux vulnerability going on, and I have loads and loads of Linux servers. I'm trying to keep the sun out of the lens. It's much easier said than done. And so I spent a lot of the day doing mitigation of that for customers as well. Worked well into the evening. Didn't do any relaxing or anything really today. It was just a work day for the most part, but the Lunar New Year sale is on at Steam, and because of that, they've got some good things discounted. And the one big thing that Lisa and I have been waiting for is Mass Effect Legendary Edition. So we picked that up, and I started the download, the 110 gigabyte download, which is pretty huge. Pastor, how's it going?
Oh, really good.
Say hi, you're on YouTube.
Hey, hi.
So I started that download. That's going to take the entire night, and we're hoping we're going to be able to start playing tomorrow. I have played the entire Mass Effect trilogy, but it's one of my favorite games of all time. It's my second favorite sci-fi story of all time after Foundation by Asimov. So Liesel is going to play the 100+ hours of the Mass Effect trilogy, but she's going to play it in the office while I watch. And the Legendary Edition takes the game from the old Xbox and Xbox 360 days and updates it to full 4K and all kinds of beautiful new graphics. Tweaks a few things. They did lose a mission or two, like literally lost them. They have no idea where the code went. But for the most part, it's the entirety of all three games with some tweaks and loads of graphical updates. Very cool. I'm excited to be able to play it again or see it again, whatever, experience the Mass Effect journey once again, starting tomorrow. So that's going to be, I think that's going to be a lot of fun, something that we can do together. She and I have always enjoyed Mass Effect together. She watched me play some of the later ones, like Mass Effect 3, was kind of interested, and then she and I played a bit of Mass Effect Andromeda together. So this is something we've been looking forward to, getting to a point where she was ready to play the real games for a long time. That was our day here. I'll see all of you tomorrow.